Tom sat in the metal chair, arms crossed, waiting for the commander to finish typing on the glowing screen. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of the ship's engine and the sharp clicks of fingers on keys. Your new partner will arrive in 3 minutes, said Commander Holt without looking up. Tom raised one eyebrow. Another partner already? Commander Holt nodded. Yes, this one is from the Kalari Force. Top skills. Good record. You'll like her. Tom leaned back in his chair. He had heard of the Kalari, a strong warrior species, good in battle, not very friendly. Her name is Vera. She asked for Earth unit training. You've got the most experience with alien partners. Tom almost laughed. He had worked with all kinds of alien officers. Some were quiet and cold. Some talked too much. One tried to eat his socks, thinking it was a peace gift. None of them lasted long. The door opened with a soft hiss. Tom stood up. A tall figure stepped inside, moving like a blade, sharp and silent. She wore dark armor with silver marks across the chest. Her skin was smooth and light blue. Her eyes were golden, focused. I am Vera of the Kalari Guard, she said, standing straight. I am assigned to you. Tom gave a small nod. I'm Tom. Welcome to Unit 7. She tilted her head slightly. You are smaller than I expected, but you have a steady stance. Commander Holt smiled as if that was a compliment. Good. Now shake hands or something. We've got a mission soon. Vera looked at Tom's outstretched hand. She didn't move. Kalari do not touch in greeting, she said. But I see the gesture is meant to build trust. I will allow it. She raised her hand and tapped his fingers once. Gently. Tom tried not to laugh. Close enough. They left the room and walked down the corridor. Tom pointed out the important sections of the base, the training hall, the command deck, and the mess area. Vera stayed quiet most of the time. She watched everything. Her eyes never missed a detail. I have studied your species history, she said. You fight with emotion, but you learn fast. Tom smiled. That's one way to put it. I do not dislike emotion, Vera added. It makes your kind unpredictable. That can be useful in battle. They reached the mission board. A screen lit up, showing a simple patrol route on Station Delta 4, a trade station in neutral space. Not much action here, said Tom. Just checking in, making sure no one's smuggling illegal goods. Should be easy. Vera studied the screen. Easy missions are where warriors become careless. Tom nodded slowly. You really don't relax much, do you? Relaxation is for the weak. Vera replied. Or the victorious. Tom chuckled. Well, let's make it to the end of the day first. Then we'll see who's victorious. They boarded a small shuttle. Vera checked the controls, even though she wasn't the pilot. She checked every weapon, every tool, and even counted the emergency packs. You don't trust human equipment? Tom asked. I do not trust anything until I test it myself, she said. Trust is earned. The flight was short. Station Delta 4 floated near a small moon, shining with lights from hundreds of ships docking and leaving. Inside, the station was crowded and noisy. Traders, robots, aliens, and officers walked quickly in every direction. Tom and Vera began their patrol. Tom greeted the station guards. Vera stood beside him like a statue. A group of rough-looking traders passed by. One of them made a loud joke in a strange language. Vera turned her head sharply. Was that an insult? She asked. Tom held up a hand. Probably not. Some people just talk loud. If it was an insult, I will respond, she said calmly. Tom shook his head. That's not how we handle it here. We ignore small stuff. Vera didn't look convinced, but she didn't move either. Later, they passed by a small shop where a young alien was being questioned by a local officer. Please. The alien said, I didn't know those crystals were banned here. The officer looked bored. Tell it to the command desk. Vera stepped forward. May I ask what the charges are? The officer frowned. Who are you? Kalari Officer Vera. Earth Unit 7, she said. This seems like a low-level mistake. Perhaps a warning is enough. Tom blinked. That was unexpected. The officer grumbled, then let the alien go with a warning. After they walked away, Tom looked at Vera. That was surprisingly kind of you. Vera replied, Justice is not always punishment. That young one made an error, not a crime. Tom yawned as he walked into the training hall. Morning drills had become routine. But now, with Vera around, they felt more serious. She was already there, standing on one leg with her eyes closed, bouncing like a statue. "You're up early," Tom said. Vera opened one eye. "Sleep is a tool, not a reward." Tom rubbed his neck. "I guess that means you slept for 30 seconds, 45, she said. Tom smiled. He grabbed a training stick and stepped onto the mat. Vera joined him. They moved through a series of combat forms, slow at first, then faster. Her strikes were sharp and precise. His were steady and strong. By the end, both were sweating. "Your style is unusual," Vera said. Tom dropped the stick. "It's called patience. You should try it sometime." Vera nodded. "I will consider it, after training." They headed to the station's main deck. There was a routine check-in schedule with traders arriving from the outer zones. Vera walked beside Tom, her eyes scanning every corner. She seemed more alert than usual. Tom noticed her glancing at him often, not just once or twice, but many times during the walk. "You're quiet today," he said. "I'm observing," Vera replied. "You move differently today, more relaxed. Maybe I trust you to watch my back now," Tom said. Vera stopped walking and stared at him. "You trust me?" Tom nodded. "You've earned it." She tilted her head. Trust is not given lightly in Kalari culture. If one gives trust, they accept bond. Tom raised an eyebrow. "Bond? What kind of bond?" Vera didn't answer right away. Instead, she changed the subject. "We should hurry. Traders do not wait." Tom felt a little confused, but let it go. Maybe it was just another alien custom. He didn't understand. When they reached the market zone, the place was full of sound and movement. Stalls of shining minerals, colorful fabrics, and robotic pets lined the walkways. Vera stood very close to Tom, closer than usual. "Something wrong?" he asked. "This area is open." "Vulnerable," she replied. "I will stay near you." Tom tried to walk ahead, but Vera kept matching his step, sometimes brushing against his shoulder. During the inspection, a merchant offered Tom a glowing fruit as a gift. Before he could accept, Vera stepped in front of him and took it first. "This gift is not safe," she said. "I must test it." She bit into the fruit, chewed, and nodded. "It is acceptable." Tom blinked. "You just took a bite out of my fruit. I protected you," she said. "That is my duty." Tom laughed. "Remind me never to offer you chocolate later." They returned to the command deck to file their report. On the way, Vera kept asking questions. "What is your family rank?" I don't really have ranks, just parents, a sister." "Do you have any courtship alliances?" Tom frowned. "Courtship? No. Why?" "You move like someone with bond history," she said. Tom nearly tripped. "I move like someone who carries a lot of gear." She looked at him carefully. "Interesting." When they passed by the galley, Vera paused. "You require nourishment," she said. "Yeah, I could eat," Tom replied. She led him inside, then brought him a tray full of food. Most of it was from the alien menu. Some of it looked like it could crawl away on its own. "I hunted this," she said. Tom stared at the plate. "Hunted? You mean picked from the buffet?" "Yes, it was difficult. One trader was in my way." Tom laughed again. "That's not hunting. That's waiting in line." Vera didn't respond. She watched him as he picked up a piece and tasted. It wasn't bad. A little spicy, maybe too much salt, but edible. "Good," Vera said. "I will bring more tomorrow." Tom blinked. "You don't need to bring me food." "I must," she said. "You accepted the first meal. That begins the offering cycle." Tom frowned. "Offering cycle?" She said nothing more and stood up. Tom adjusted the strap of his utility belt and checked the mission details on his wrist pad. Today, he and Vera were tasked with protecting a visiting diplomat. The diplomat was from the orange species, known for their soft voices and fragile bodies. The meeting would take place on level 5 of the station, a quiet zone with high security. Tom had done dozens of these missions before. Nothing ever happened. Just stand nearby, look alert, and wait for the diplomat to leave. Vera, however, looked like she was ready for battle. She wore full armor, sharpened her energy spear, and tied her long hair behind her head in a tight braid. Tom raised an eyebrow. You know we're just standing guard, right? Protection must be absolute, Vera said. Even still air can hide danger. Tom smiled. I'll take your word for it. They reached the meeting room early. 2 guards stood outside the door. Inside, the diplomat and 3 advisors were already sitting. Vera took a spot near the corner, her back straight, eyes scanning the room. Tom leaned against the wall and watched. The meeting began. The Orc diplomat spoke in a soft voice about trade rights and transport fees. Tom's attention drifted after a while. He glanced at Vera. She hadn't moved an inch. Then the door opened. A tall figure stepped inside, holding a data tablet. Everyone turned. Tom narrowed his eyes. The figure wore an engineer's uniform, but something felt off. The badge was wrong. Before Tom could react, Vera moved. She leapt forward, knocked the fake engineer to the ground, and disarmed him in one smooth move. The tablet fell and slid across the floor. Sparks flew from it. Hidden tech, maybe a listening device or worse. Tom rushed over. You all right? Yes, Vera said, holding the attacker down. This one meant harm. The guards came in, shocked. The diplomat looked pale but unharmed. Tom helped secure the attacker, then looked at Vera. Nice move, he said. Vera gave a short nod. I protect what is mine. Tom blinked. What do you mean? Yours? She didn't answer. Later, back on the ship, Tom reviewed the footage and wrote the report. Vera sat quietly beside him, still holding her spear. You did good today, Tom said. Quick thinking. Vera looked at him. You said you trust me. I do, Tom replied. You've got my back. She stood and walked to a small storage locker. From inside, she pulled out a blade. It was short, polished, with a black handle and a silver mark near the edge. She held it out toward Tom. This is for you, she said. Tom took the blade and turned it in his hand. Looks valuable. It is, Vera said. This is a bonding knife. I give it only to one who is chosen. Tom looked up. Chosen for what? Vera's golden eyes met his. Chosen for alliance, Tom smiled. Well, I'm honored. He slid the knife into his belt without much thought. Vera nodded slowly and turned away. That night, Tom sat in the crew lounge, reading through a few Kalari culture files. Something about Vera's words stayed in his mind. He typed the phrase, Kalari bonding knife, into the Peace Corps database. One file popped up. It was marked as low access, old but translated. He opened it and began to read. His smile slowly faded. According to the file, a bonding knife was not just a gift, it was a declaration. Among the Kalari, giving that knife meant choosing a partner for life service. Accepting it meant agreement to begin a bond trial. Tom stared at his belt. The knife was still there. He leaned back and covered his face with both hands. I just got engaged, he whispered to himself. The next morning, Tom walked into the training room. Vera was already waiting as checked. Tom walked into the training room, still thinking about the file he read the night before. Vera stood in the center of the mat, holding a wooden staff. She looked calm, but focused. You're late, she said. Tom checked the time. He was only 3 minutes behind. You're early, he replied. They began training without much talking. Vera moved quickly, striking with sharp, clean hits. Tom blocked and dodged. But his thoughts weren't fully there. His eyes kept drifting to the small knife he had clipped to his belt. He still remembered the words from the Peace Corps file. Accepting the bonding knife begins the trial. Refusing must be done with great care and honor. A broken bond can lead to shame or conflict between allies. Vera swung low, and Tom barely blocked in time. You are not focused, she said, pulling back. Tom wiped sweat from his forehead. I didn't sleep much. Why? She asked. He paused. Because I read something about the knife. The one you gave me. Vera's expression did not change, but she lowered her staff. You read about the bond? She asked. Tom nodded slowly. So, the knife was more than just a gift. Yes, Vera said. It means I choose you as my battle bond. Tom cleared his throat. And if I keep the knife? You accept the trial, she said. And if I give it back? Vera's eyes narrowed. You reject me. Tom looked down. Vera, I didn't know what it meant when I took it. You accepted it with honor. That was enough, she said. He held up his hands. I'm not angry. I just want to understand. In human culture, we don't form bonds like this. We talk first. We explain our feelings. I did not understand your way, Vera said. That's okay, Tom said. I don't fully understand yours either. There was silence for a moment. Vera, step closer. Do you wish to break the bond? Tom looked at her. I don't know. I like working with you. I trust you. But I didn't plan for this. Vera nodded slowly. The trial is not just for closeness. It is to learn. We fight together, eat together, and understand one another. If we are not fit, the bond ends with honor. Tom let out a breath. So I won't offend you if I ask questions? You should ask. That is part of the trial, she said. Tom gave a small smile. Then I want to learn. Vera tilted her head. Then we continue. The rest of the day passed without much trouble. They returned to regular patrols on the station. Tom noticed Vera walking even closer than before, watching everyone who passed by. At one point, they passed a group of engineers. One of them, a human named Marlowe, greeted Tom with a smile. Hey, Tom, want to grab a drink later? Tom smiled back. Maybe. I'll check the schedule. Before he could say more, Vera stepped between them. This human is in trial bond, she said to Marlowe. Marlowe blinked. Okay, sorry. Tom touched Vera's arm. Vera, it's all right. She was just being friendly. She invited you to a social drink, Vera said. That could lead to bond crossing. Tom sighed. Not on Earth. It just means talking and relaxing. Vera looked confused. Your culture is strange. Yours is intense, Tom said. That night, Tom visited the ship's medical officer, Dr. Yelrin, who was from the gentle Antari species. The doctor had spent years studying alien biology. Doctor, Tom said, I need to ask something about Kailari behavior. The doctor blinked. Slowly, is this about your partner, Vera? Tom nodded. She gave me a knife. I accepted it. Now I think I'm part of some kind of bond trial. Dr. Yelrin nodded. Yes, that is their tradition. But there is more. Tom frowned. More? The doctor opened a small file on his screen. Kailari have a bonding season. It is not like human emotion. It is part of their natural cycle. During this time, they become more focused on their chosen partner, more protective, sometimes even territorial. Tom stared. Are you saying she's in mating season? The doctor gave a quiet nod. Yes, but do not be alarmed for Kailari. Mating is about alliance first. It does not move fast. It begins with trials, sharing food, guarding each other, and building trust. You are not in danger. Tom ran a hand through his hair. Nobody warned me. Most humans would never receive a bonding knife. You are rare, the doctor said. Tom left the office in silence, thinking deeply. He had always been proud of his ability to work with other species. He respected different cultures. But this was more personal than anything he'd faced before. That night, he sat in the dark lounge, staring at the stars through the window. Vera entered without a sound and sat beside him. Why do you sit in silence? She asked. Because I need to think, Tom said. Thinking is good, she replied. I thought before I chose you. Tom looked at her. Why me? You listen before speaking, Vera said. You fight with care, not anger. You protect the weak, not to gain praise, but because it is right. You are different from others. Tom smiled a little. You make it hard to say no. I am not asking for yes or no, she said. I ask only that you walk the trial path. If you choose to turn away later, I will honor it. Tom looked at. Tom double-checked his gear as he stepped onto the landing ramp. The heat of the outlaw planet rose up around them, red rocks, thick dust, and dry air stretched in every direction. Their mission was to scout a hidden base used by black market arms dealers. Vera stood beside him, her armor dark and smooth. Her eyes were alert, scanning the cliffs ahead. She had been quiet since the mission began, more than usual. Her movements were sharp, ready, but controlled. "We will move in fast," she said. "We must not give them time to hide." Tom nodded. "We get what we need, then leave. No hero moves." She looked at him for a moment. "You think I will act without care?" Tom raised a brow. "Not without care, but maybe with too much force." Vera gave a short breath. "I only act when you are at risk." Tom adjusted the strap on his rifle. "Let's keep the risk low, then." They moved across the rocky land, climbing a narrow path toward the old bunker. The entrance was hidden behind a large metal door, half buried under sand and stone. Vera pressed her hand against the wall. A soft light flashed under her fingers. "I hear for life signs inside," she whispered. Tom crouched beside her. "Could be guards, could be workers. We will find out," she said. He tapped his wrist pad, and a signal blocker activated. No messages in or out now. They were alone. Vera kicked the door open in one strike. It slammed back with a heavy sound. Inside, four aliens stood up from a round table. One reached for something under his coat. Vera was faster. She jumped forward, knocking the first one down. Tom raised his weapon but did not fire. "No sudden moves," he said firmly. The others froze. After a quick check, they found illegal energy cells and stolen tech spread across the room. Vera stood watch as Tom took photos and tagged the items. "They will be arrested," Tom said. "We have enough proof." Vera's eyes remained on the group. "One of them looked at you with intent. I marked him." Tom turned toward her. "Marked him? You mean noticed him?" "He reached under his coat," she said. "Could have been fear," Tom replied, "or nerves." She shook her head. "If he had harmed you, I would not have stopped." Tom frowned. "You mean you would have," she interrupted. "He is lucky I stood still." Tom stepped closer. "You can't protect me by hurting others without reason. That will turn allies into enemies." "I do not need allies," she said. "I need only your safety." Tom looked into her golden eyes. For a moment, he didn't know what to say. Outside, they walked back across the rocks. The sun was setting now, casting long shadows across the land. "You said you trust me," Vera said. "But you question my actions." "I trust your heart," Tom said. "But I also believe in control. A good soldier knows when to act and when not to." She said nothing for a while. Then she stopped walking. "You are not weak," she said. "But you are not like Kalari." "I'm human," he said. "We think first. We talk. We wait. That's our way." She looked at him. "And still, you fight well. You move with reason. That is why I chose you." Tom took a breath. "Vera, I need to be clear with you. I respect you. I'm learning about your customs. But I'm still not sure if I can walk the full bond path." Vera's voice stayed calm. "The trial is not over. There is time." A soft wind blew dust across the rocks. "Why did you jump in front of me back there?" Tom asked. "I had it under control. You are my chosen one," she said. "During the bond trial, I protect you with all I have." Tom rubbed the back of his neck. "Even if it puts the mission at risk." "Even then," she said. He stared at her. "That's not how we do things in my world. We protect the mission. We trust each other to survive." Vera looked at the ground. "Your world has different laws. In mine, the bond is stronger than duty." Tom nodded. "Maybe we can find something in between." When they reached the shuttle, the engines hummed softly. Tom sat inside and took off his helmet. Vera sat across from him, silent and still. "I learned something today," Tom said. Vera tilted her head. "What? You're stronger than I thought. But you also care more than I knew." "That is true," she said. "Caring is dangerous. But I accepted that when I chose you." Tom looked at her for a long moment. "You said the trial ends with truth," he said. "Yes. Well, here is mine. I don't know what I want yet, but I want to keep learning. I want to keep walking beside you, not because of a knife or a rule, but because you've become important to me." Vera's eyes softened. "Then the trial continues," she said. The shuttle rose into the sky, carrying them back toward the station. Below, the red land faded into the growing dark. Inside the ship, they sat together in silence, not as strangers or simple partners, but as something more to warriors, learning to trust in a galaxy where trust was often the rarest thing of all. The shuttle door slid open with a soft sound as Tom and Vera stepped back onto the station. The mission was complete, but something still weighed on Tom's mind. He had seen Vera's full strength. She had acted fast and without fear. She was ready to fight for him. But now, it was time to stop avoiding the truth between them. As they walked down the hallway toward the command room, Tom glanced sideways at her. She was quiet, calm, but alert as always. Her eyes moved with purpose. Her steps were steady, but there was something softer in her face now. Something less like a soldier and more like someone waiting for an answer. "I need to talk to you," Tom said. Vera looked at him. "We are speaking. No, I mean real talk. Not about missions. Not about enemies. About us." Tom said. Vera stopped walking. She looked around, then turned and entered an empty rest chamber. Tom followed her inside. The room was quiet. A few chairs, a table, and a soft light above them. Vera stood in the center and faced him. "You may speak," she said. Tom took a breath. "I've been trying to understand everything. Your customs. Your way of bonding. Why you gave me that knife. Why you protect me like your life depends on it." Vera waited without moving. "I didn't know what I was stepping into," Tom continued. "And I still don't know what I want. But I do know one thing: I don't want to lie to you." "You have not lied," Vera said. "No," Tom agreed. "But I've avoided the truth. I've stayed quiet when I should have asked more. And I let this bond grow without really knowing what it means." Vera stepped closer. "The trial is for learning. You are still learning." Tom nodded. "That's true, and I respect it. I respect you. I've seen how far you'll go to protect me. I've seen what this bond means to you, and that matters." She lowered her head just a little, her golden eyes watching him closely. "I don't want to hurt you," Tom said, "and I don't want to pretend either. So I need to ask you something, and I want the full truth." "Ask," Vera said. "Why did you really choose me?" he asked. Vera did not answer right away. She walked to the side of the room and picked up a small drinking flask. She held it in both hands. "Thinking, when I first arrived," she began, "I expected to find weakness. I thought your world trained soft soldiers. I believed your people used talk instead of action. But I was wrong." She looked up. "You listened. You acted. You fought not with anger, but with care. You showed patience even when you were unsure. That is rare. Among my people, those traits are signs of a strong leader." Tom crossed his arms. "But you could have worked with anyone. Why bond with me?" Vera stepped forward. "Because I did not want just a partner. I wanted someone who could help me understand more than just battle. Someone who would treat me with equal ground. Someone who could walk beside me, not in front or behind." Tom's heart beat faster. She meant every word. Her voice held no games. No pressure, just truth. "I'm not perfect," Tom said. "I do not need perfect," Vera replied. "I need honest and strong." Tom looked at her. "What happens if I can't finish the trial? If I decide I'm not ready for that kind of bond?" Vera straightened her back. "Then I return the knife to my people. I tell them you walked with honor but did not step forward. There is no shame." He let out a slow breath. "That's fair," she added, "but I will not lie either. If you step away, I will feel it. I will carry it with." Tom stood at the large window near the command deck, watching the stars move slowly outside. The ship was quiet. Most officers had returned to their stations after the morning briefing. But Tom's thoughts were far away. The peace summit was only a few hours away. Delegates from 12 species were gathering. The goal was to form a trade and defense agreement. Everyone expected things to go smoothly. But Tom knew how quickly that could change. This time, he wasn't alone. Vera walked up beside him and looked out at the stars. "You are thinking too much," she said. Tom smiled faintly. "Can you tell just by looking?" "You lean on your left leg when you worry," she said. "Also, your face is tense." "You've been watching me that closely?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "That is part of the trial," Tom looked at her carefully. She wore her formal Kalari armor. The silver patterns on her shoulders gleamed in the light. A new mark had been added to straight lines crossing over a circle. It meant shared path. He had seen the symbol in the files. You added a bond. Mark, Tom said. I am still in trial, Vera replied, but I honor it in full. Tom looked down at the blade still clipped to his belt. He hadn't returned it. He hadn't spoken a final answer, but he had stayed, and every day he had learned something new about her, her strength, her quiet wisdom, her fierce loyalty. You trust me now? He asked. I always did, she said, but now I understand why. An alert sounded on their wrist pads. The summit was beginning. Vera straightened. Are you ready? Tom nodded. As ready as I'll ever be. They entered the summit hall together. The space was wide and round, with high glass walls and flags of every world hanging above. The delegates sat in a circle, each with their aides behind them. Tom and Vera stood near the Earth representative, who nodded to both of them as the talks began. Tom watched closely. Most of it was formal speech and trade numbers. But then a dispute started between two worlds, Zandari and Velex. Both claimed rights to a new mining zone. Voices rose. A few delegates stood. The mood changed quickly. Tom leaned toward Vera. This could go bad. I see weapons onto guards. Vera whispered. One has a stun pulse half charged. Tom stepped forward and raised his voice slightly. May I speak as a Peace Corps officer? The room quieted. I have worked with both Zandari and Velex teams, Tom said. I have seen your people build and protect. You are stronger together than apart. He turned toward the Zandari. You taught me how to track desert storms. Then to the Velex. You showed me how to repair old tech without needing new parts. He looked around the room. This summit is not about who owns more. It's about who can protect more lives by working together. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the Velex delegate sat down slowly. Let us discuss shared access. The Zandari delegate nodded. Agreed. Tension dropped from the room. The guards lowered their weapons. The air became calm again. Tom stepped back. Vera was watching him with quiet pride. You did not strike, she said. You used words as a weapon. Tom grinned. Words can win battles too. Later, after the summit ended, the Earth ambassador pulled Tom aside. You held the room together, the ambassador said. Not many could do that. Tom nodded. Thank you, but I didn't do it alone. He looked at Vera across the hall. She was speaking with another Kalari officer. Her stance was relaxed, her spear was set aside, and her face showed something. Rare-peace. Tom walked over to her. She turned to face him. The trial was not just mine. She said softly, it was ours. Tom reached down and touched the knife at his belt. I have walked with you. I have fought beside you. I have learned who you are, he said. I did not plan this bond, but I see now that it grew through truth, not force. Vera waited quietly. Tom unclipped the knife and turned it in his hand. Most bonds begin with a promise, he said. I don't make promises I can't keep. He held out the knife. So here is mine. I choose the path. Vera took the knife slowly and pressed her forehead against his. This bond is complete, she said. They stood like that for a moment too. Warriors from different worlds, bound not by blood or orders, but by shared purpose. Later that evening, they walked together through the station. Crew members passed them and nodded. No one questioned their steps. No one asked about symbols or customs. They simply saw two soldiers moving in rhythm. Tom spoke softly. What now? Vera looked ahead. Now we serve, together. And that was enough. In the wide galaxy, full of conflict, politics, and uncertain peace, one thing remained clear: humanity had more to offer than anyone had guessed. Not just power, not just skill, but understanding. And that was why, when a Kalari warrior chose a human for her bond, she did not choose wrong. She chose wisely.